Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Terrifying Tuesday on this channel, and we've got to talk about Terrifier 3. So let's jump right into it. A lot more news has come out about Terrifier 3 that is worth talking about. First off, we get to see that Sienna has gone through a lot of things since we last left her. Now, the rumor has it that this movie may in fact do a time jump right at the very beginning. I don't know, based on what we've heard, if that is true or not. It does have a time jump, so potentially even if the first part of the movie does take place during the events of Christmas that same year as the last movie, you can expect a time jump. However, being that a lot of this movie seems like it will take place during Christmas, it leans more towards the fact that we may see a time jump for the entire movie, including the beginning, which means Art the Clown is in this hiding spot. There's a mysterious phone call. Someone gets killed that way, very much reminiscent of Scream or When a Stranger Calls. We know that they said that the opening scene is like that. Now, the new bit of information comes that Sienna has been doing kind of bad since the events of the last movie, and why not? She has been bouncing back between insane asylum and insane asylum, and we know that that's normal for a slasher film. We see that all the time. You see that in a lot of Friday the 13th films, which is really cool because in a lot of Friday the 13th films, when the survivor girl ends up going to an insane asylum, I've always thought it was a bit of a miss that we never got a movie involving all of the final girls of Jason Voorhees, with him going into an insane asylum to actually catch up with them and finish them off. I always thought that that was kind of a missed opportunity. Who knows? Maybe someone one day will make that film. Now, the thing about this is that, of course, she has some trauma after everything she's been through, but the movie also promises us a few other things. They promise us more information about her dad and more information about her role in the future. So with that being said, it becomes quite obvious where this movie could go, even though it's going to have to take on just as much of a supernatural element as it did before. It's going to have to follow Sienna. So we know that she probably got out of the insane asylum, which brings us to Mia. Mia is a character who in the movie has a boyfriend. A casting call had gone out asking for these two people to be able to do some nudity, so we know there's going to be a shower scene murder. Mia and her boyfriend are supposed to be these people. We kind of know that. And Mia's name is on a door that we see with the word and. And what I think is happening here is I would not be surprised at all if the name below and is Sienna. If this is Sienna's roommate that's going to get murdered, and it's going to happen pretty early on in the film. We'll get a chance to see Sienna freak out about this, and then it will sort of lead her back down the path, back down this rabbit hole of trying to figure out how she's going to get rid of Art the Clown forever. Because even though she is a final girl, she was a pretty tough final girl in her first appearance. Now with her coming back for another appearance, we can only expect that she's going to continue to be that tough final girl. So we do know that supposedly Sienna is living with her aunt during the time of this movie, but if this scene happens early enough, I do think there is a possibility that Sienna could be the roommate to Mia, but only time will tell. Now, it also promises us our first look at Victoria possessed. Now, Victoria coming back into the fold, we kind of know how that went down. And if you've seen the second movie, you know how this went. Now, Victoria seems to be taking the place of the Pell Girl in this movie, with a lot of people noting that the Pell Girl doesn't appear in the IMDb page. At least the last time I checked, there's no mention of the Pell Girl. Now, this could be because the entity that is the Pale Girl is something else entirely, something more supernatural and something crazy. This kind of lends a little bit of something different, if you will, to the Art the Clown universe. The fact that his former victims can appear to him. Whatever this entity is, seems to take on the guise of his former victims. The Pale Girl was a victim of his as well, which also tells us that just like Anakin Skywalker, Art the Clown has no problem killing younglings. So that is a bit unsettling, but it makes for an interesting premise because now you have Art the Clown seeing someone else, seeing another victim, and this could just continue on. This could allow actors who die in the movies to come back as whatever this entity is. This entity that previously was the Pale Girl is now Victoria possessed. And one of the looks that we get of a picture actually shows her face, and it's scary. I'm not even gonna lie, it is utterly horrifying. And you see her face looks sort of melted and just zombified horribleness. And she seems to be the one that's taken the place of the Pale Girl. So that's the person he's going to be seeing in this movie. It's already going to be a lot grosser than the previous one. But we also are promised that we will see a lot more about Sienna's father. So there is some mystery to unravel in this movie that we didn't get to see in the last movie. Things that were sort of hinted at are going to begin to be answered. They will be answering a bit of stuff about the Pale Girl. So whatever this entity is, we will find out a bit more about it. The only thing that worries me here is the possibility that we will get too much of an origin. Sometimes when you give the slasher too much of an origin story and tell too much about their past, it sort of does take away from some of the scares that you get in the movie. Like, I want certain questions answered about Art the Clown, but I don't want to have it turn out where we know everything there is to know about him. I want there to continuously be things we don't know. We don't have to know where exactly he came from in order to make him scary. In fact, that kind of takes some of that away. Look at Michael Myers. We know a lot about Michael Myers, but we still, even though there was that whole Michael Myers is controlled by witchcraft story that we don't talk about, but I still watch it every year and make it work within my canon, even though we have that. Michael Myers still has some sort of little bit of a mystery about him. Where did he get this evil at? And there is a book based on the original Halloween that kind of goes into this, but it doesn't necessarily tell you everything you need to know because we don't get that on the screen. Jason Voorhees is another thing. Jason Voorhees dies as a kid, comes back. We know that he watched his mother die. We know that he took revenge after that. But there are certain elements of Jason Voorhees that we don't quite understand. And anytime you go and you explain too much of an origin, you kind of get into what Freddy did. The last couple of Freddy movies really went into the origin really deep and sort of explained a lot more than I really thought they should. Now, I still love the movie Freddy's Dead for what it was. Robert Englund is always going to be amazing as Freddy. But I don't want to see the Terrifier go down that road where we have to see some origin that takes away from everything that is the mystery. I do think that having a little bit of it, like what is the connection between Sienna's father and Art the Clown? That might be a really interesting thing to know. Also, what is the Pale Girl? But other than these two things, I'm not sure how deep they go into the lore of what exactly Art the Clown is. The movie is supposed to come out in October of 2024, so we don't have much time to wait for this movie, and it looks like it's going to be really great as we slowly get more things, more plot details, more hints at what's to come. There's also going to be a trailer that apparently is going to drop tomorrow. Now, I don't do a video on Wednesdays, so we will probably talk about that on another day. But here is the thing. This trailer has got to tell us a little bit about things that we don't know. It has to hint that Art the Clown's mystery is still there. And I really think that if it does a good job, it's just going to up our excitement for this movie, which already is at maximum for a lot of people. It really is. A lot of people just can't wait to see this movie, and I am one of them. So that's kind of what we know about this movie so far. We know that we've gotten this new imagery. We've gotten this detail about her being in an insane asylum. We've gotten this thing with Mia having a roommate and, her boyfriend and her possibly getting killed. We know the movie takes place around Christmas time. Supposedly there is a time jump, and I tend to think that that's the case. The movie is going to take place 5 years after the events of the last movie, because then that will give us plenty of time to explore Sienna and what she's been doing since then, and lend to the character's vulnerability, if you will. She's not going to be in the best mindset when the new movie comes out. So that's where I'm going to leave it off to you guys. I want to know what you guys think. Do these details that have come out, these little minor details, do they actually excite you? Are you pumped for the trailer that supposedly is coming out tomorrow? And I will be doing a video on that as soon as I can. As always, we want to know what you guys think. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment box below. Let us know what you think. Share this video with all of your friends so they can be a part of the conversation as well. Hit that like button. It's free. It helps the channel, and we really do appreciate it. Miko says we need more subscribers, and you don't want to disappoint Miko, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.